1947, as India won independence, it also endured one of the most harrowing chapters in its history, the partition. A line was drawn, splitting one unified nation into two separate countries, creating modern India and Pakistan forever. Overnight, neighbors became strangers, communities were torn apart, and millions found themselves uprooted from the only homes they'd ever known. In the span of a few months, an estimated 15 million people were displaced, making this one of the largest forced migrations in history. Families left behind homes, lands, and memories, fleeing with only what they could carry. The roads to safety were filled with peril, as countless lives were lost to violence, starvation, and exhaustion. The journey was long and arduous, stretching over days and weeks. People walked for miles under the scorching sun, with little food or water. Children cried from hunger, and the elderly struggled to keep up. Despite the overwhelming odds, the hope for a safer future kept them moving forward. Each step was a testament to their resilience and determination to survive. Survivors recall the relentless fear, the heartbreak of separation, and the resilience it took to survive. Children grew up in refugee camps, mothers lost children, and communities grappled with the loss of their cultural roots. Yet, amidst this darkness, stories of human kindness also emerged. Strangers took in the displaced, offering them shelter and warmth. Friends risked their own safety to hide each other's families, providing a safe haven in times of peril. Communities, often divided by differences, united with a common purpose to protect one another. These acts of compassion and bravery shone brightly, reminding us of the enduring power of humanity. In the face of adversity, the spirit of kindness prevailed, lighting the way forward. These untold stories reveal not only the pain of partition, but also the spirit of resilience and compassion that lives on. As we remember the 1947 partition, we honor those who lived through it and carry forward the lessons they taught us about survival, empathy, and the enduring strength of the human spirit. This tragic event reshaped the lives of millions, forcing them to leave their homes and start anew. Families were torn apart, communities were disrupted, and yet, amidst the chaos, stories of resilience emerged. These stories remind us of the importance of unity and compassion in the face of adversity. By reflecting on this history, we not only pay tribute to the victims, but also ensure that future generations understand the value of peace and coexistence.
On the stroke of midnight, August 15, 1947, a new era began for the Indian subcontinent. India had won its freedom from British rule, but this independence came at a cost. A single decision divided a land, created two nations, and changed millions of lives forever. In today's video, we'll unravel the complex story of the partition of India, examining the forces that led to it, the people affected by it, and the lasting scars it left on the region. To understand the partition, we first need to understand the British presence in India. For nearly 2 centuries, Britain ruled over the Indian subcontinent, implementing policies that forced a division to secure their control. They often favored some communities over others, creating social, economic, and political rifts. As time went on, these divisions deepened. British policies emphasized religious identities, creating political distinctions that had not previously existed. By the early 20th century, the Indian independence movement was in full swing. Mahatma Gandhi led the call for a united India, while figures like Jawaharlal Nehru visioned a secular nation. But there was also another voice growing louder, that of the All India Muslim League, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Jinnah argued that Muslims in India needed their own separate homeland, fearing that they would be marginalized in a Hindu-majority India. This vision clashed with that of Gandhi and Nehru, who believed in a unified India. As World War II ended, Britain faced economic ruin and could no longer maintain its empire. Lord Louis Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India, was tasked with planning Britain's withdrawal. His solution was to divide India along religious lines. One of the most controversial aspects of this plan was the hasty decision-making. The borders of India and Pakistan were drawn up by a British lawyer, Cyril Radcliffe, who had never even been to India. He had just 5 weeks to divide a nation of over 400 million people. But this wasn't just a migration, it was a tragedy. Violence erupted across the newly drawn borders, leaving an estimated 1 to 2 million people dead and countless others wounded. The legacy of partition remains visible today. India and Pakistan, once united, have fought multiple wars and endured decades of tense relations. The scars of partition still influence politics, economics, and even everyday life in both countries. The division also left a permanent mark on the people, many of whom still carry the trauma of being uprooted, losing loved ones, or witnessing the horrors of violence. Could there have been another solution? Historians still debate whether partition was inevitable. Some argue that it was the result of British policies. Others believe that leaders failed to compromise. Either way, the decision to divide India changed the subcontinent forever. The Partition of India in 1947 was more than just a political decision. It was an event that tore families apart, redrew borders, and shaped identities. Understanding this history is crucial, not just for India and Pakistan, but for the world, as a reminder of the devastating impact of division and the importance of unity. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're interested in more videos on history and global events, check out our playlist.